simple omelet with some vegetables. Vegetables, brunch? Absolutely. How about some nice, earthy, white button mushrooms? I like to cook these in a cast iron skillet that I get hot, and I add just a splash of olive oil, 2 tablespoons. And here I've got a pound of white button mushrooms that have just been rinsed. So add them in. And these mushrooms are really loaded with water, so you need to be a little hefty with the salt. Some cracked black pepper. Now for some aromatics, just a couple pieces of fresh thyme. I love the little sizzling sound that makes. And a few cloves of garlic. For a pound of mushrooms, about 4 cloves. And I'll just give them a light tap. And then give all this a nice stir to get it cooking together. Okay, I wanna make some toast, because I really wanna make something that's gonna showcase that homemade butter we made. I'm a big fan of the sourdough. Tangy coffee cake, little tang in my bread. That's just my personal favorite. And I like my toast thick, because I really want it to stand up to that butter. And that's never gonna fit in a toaster, so I'll just do it in the oven. Now, white mushrooms. To give them a little extra depth of flavor, I like to add dry marsala. Now I'm adding a fortified wine to a hot pan on the stove. So I'll pull it off the heat. I'll add about a 1/4 cup. And pop that right back on the heat. And before I do anything else, I'll let that marsala cook down a little bit. I want to add something just a little bit bright and light and fresh by adding a nice amount of just spinach. So just pick out that thyme and those garlic cloves, because it's done its job, and then add the spinach. I want to cook the spinach oh so slightly. And for that, I can shut the heat off because I think I have enough heat and momentum in this pan to wilt the spinach. And I want to get together my herbs for my omelet. So I'll start by mincing some chives. That gives that fresh, oniony flavor that we so love. Tarragon. Just a little chopped parsley. And then I really have my trifecta of flavors. You get that oniony chive, that sweet tarragon, and then that freshly mowed lawn smell of the parsley. That combination, to me, is perfect with eggs in an omelet. For one omelet, I take 3 whole eggs and give that a little whisk with a fork. No need to overwhelm. Save your energy for eating. To get a light and fluffy omelet, the best thing to add is actually a splash of water. Give it a whisk. So I have my mushrooms in the pan. They're all cooked down. That spinach is just wilting on top of it. They really sink up that marsala, really brings them to life. Now we're ready for the perfect omelet, and so easy to make. This is just 3 eggs with that teaspoon, that little splash of warm water. Now to that, for a little personality, a couple drops of hot sauce, a couple drops of Worcestershire for a little salty underhint, and then a touch of salt. So we start with a hot nonstick pan and just put a touch of butter in there. Just take the plunge. Pour those eggs right in. Give it a little stir, and that'll give you a nice middle. Then swirl the liquid all through and let this cook. You're not moving, you're not doing anything else. The world stops because you're making an omelet. And now for the herbs. Chives, a little bit of tarragon for that little sweetness. And finish up with the parsley. Fold the first side in towards you. Just roll up, hiding all those vibrant herbs underneath it. Unmold it right on there. Line up some of those spinach and mushrooms. Just kind of park them right next to the omelet. Slice of toast, and then really that real reminder that we just made everything from scratch. That homemade butter with the sea salt and the cracked black pepper on top. Hear that sound? That's the sound of brunch. Wow, I have to take a bite. This is just toast times 10. Now for the omelet. Wow, it just has such a clean, herby flavor.